This is Richard Collins, the player behind Aleister. I know things have been really rough lately. This has been a very difficult year for a lot of people, and that's why it's so very important that everyone knows that things absolutely can get better, and you're not in it alone. People are there to help. We want everybody to be able to get better, to be able to get the help that they need. And as such, please, if you're having trouble and thinking of any kind of suicidal thoughts or anything like that, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. Or you can call NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, at 800-950-NAMI, which would be 800-950-6264. And if any of these situations become an emergency, please call 911. I know that all of the numbers are U.S.-based. There are other resources in other countries that can be used. And if you absolutely need to, reach out to us. We would be happy to try and help you find the resources that you need. Would do anything to try and help protect any of our listeners.
Hey, Adam Culbertson here. Before we begin, we got a promo from another independent podcast, so when you finish this episode, make sure you go and check them out.
Hello, and I am Zach, host of Podcast Junkie. Podcast Junkie is a tool for podcast listeners of all genres who are searching for their next favorite show. I review a different podcast series or season each week, helping discerning listeners like you discover new shows and connect with their creators. Each episode lasts between 4 to 15 minutes and gives you, the listener, a quick overview of the week's selection, what to expect from this show, and why I think you should add it to your queue. I'll even toss in a bite-sized snippet from an episode or even their trailer. Along with doing these weekly reviews to help you get in touch with a new podcast, I also support indie podcasts through my merch sales and Patreon contributions. Find out more about that and myself over on Twitter at CastJunkie or over at CastJunkie.com. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope I can help you find your next favorite binge.
Steel your mind for eldritch horrors of the universe unknown. For what is to follow is a tale of intrigue, mystery, and madness. You're listening to Microphones and Monsters.
Okay. Then I'm gonna try to get out of the suit as quickly as possible.
All right, so you're struggling to get out, and we're gonna go to Aleister.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
You're in that alley by yourself. Well, not by yourself. You have the green-eyed cat there too.
Yes, like always.
He seems to just be there, physically there.
Well, I guess it's just us then.
Aleister, it smells very weird here. It's I mean, obviously it's Darkwell, but it's not right.
Well, yes, I think the sky is probably a good tip-off.
Yes. Well, we are here at what was the DDA, I guess.
Well, that and Tanasha said something very interesting. She seemed to let on that this was not the same place. This is not the Darkwell that we were in.
Yes. What was that thing that was flying above? It left a shadow on us.
I do not know. I did not get a good view of it.
Did she say Evangeline?
Yes, but I mean, I've been looking for her, but I don't really have any good leads. I don't know how this could be possible, unless this is maybe actually a different place, maybe a different Evangeline.
I mean, she did say it was different, so maybe you weren't here, and Evangeline was.
Maybe. Perhaps we should try going to the house.
Very well. Well, you lead the way.
Yes, very well. And I'll leave the alley and try and get my bearings to figure out where the house is.
Okay. So as you're looking around, give me another perception check.
Uh, 12 this time.
Okay. So you're looking around and you see this very large tower towards the center of town. You've never seen anything like this. Like it's a very tall tower. It doesn't match any of the surrounding architecture or anything like that. It's just
Does it have like a big red glowing eye on top of it?
no. But it's very, rather than being like symmetrical, like square rectangle type buildings, it's very jagged in shape, and it doesn't it just doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell the materials from the distance, but it doesn't look right.
It's like a completely different type of architecture.
Yeah. But as you're also looking around with that perception check, you notice that there's some gargoyles on top of a building nearby. But one of the gargoyles looks completely different. And you kind of notice that it moved a little.
Jalapeno.
And this gargoyle, as you're focusing on it a little bit more, you notice that it doesn't look like stone. It's like this bipedal monstrosity that has slick violet black skin, horns, claws, bat wings, and a long barbed tail. And its face is completely featureless.
Yeah, I'd rather leave that alone if I could.
So you head into the house.
Yes, although I'm going to try and keep an eye on that gargoyle creature thing. At least in that
you do
direction.
have to walk past it. Unless you want to like try and go on another street or something.
I'll walk past it, but I'll be very wary of it.
Okay. So as you're starting to walk past it and you're looking at it and you start making your way past it, you notice that its featureless face is following you.
But it otherwise doesn't seem to be moving.
Not at that point, but
well, as long as it
you
doesn't
start
seem
getting a
to
little
be
further,
moving, I'm just going to keep going.
okay. You feel like it's not going to do anything. It leaps off of the building and starts gliding towards you.
I'm supposing I'm headed either towards an alley or a side street.
Yeah, you got a side street coming up.
Do I think I can make it into the side street before it gets to me? Like, is it that kind of distance, like where it's pretty close, or it's still a good ways off?
It's pretty close. Like it's really close to you. And
all right, I'm going to try to get into the street as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Into that side street.
So you get in and it swoops down and cuts off. And you don't hear it make any sound. You just hear the sound of its body moving and the wings flapping.
Mm-hmm.
And then you goes back to just silence.
And so like I see it kind of fly past kind of where I was.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to continue down that side street, but I'm going to try and be super aware of that thing possibly coming in.
Okay. So you get to the end of the street, the side street,
Mm-hmm.
and you see it again on top of another building, and it's looking at you.
And I'm supposing this is like just a side street, just from one street to another. Are there any other branches off of it?
No, it's just you got to another street.
I'm going to try going back the other way.
Okay. You get to the end of the street, and you see it on top of another building on that street.
I'm assuming someplace where I did not see it before.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to go as directly as I can toward the house. Whichever side of the side street that takes me to.
Okay. So you running, you walking.
I'm gonna try to run, and if it starts diving towards me again, then I'll probably be forced to act at that point. Be ready to kind of Eldritch Blast it if it's diving in my direction.
Okay. So you're running, you're maybe 2 blocks away from your house, and you hear behind you the flapping of the wings. And you look back and you see it. It's flying towards you. It's like in chasing you again.
Well, I'm gonna try and be all cool and like kind of like jump and turn around backwards and fire my Eldritch Blasts at it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, go for it.
Very cool.
Yeah. So the first is a nat 20.
Nice.
Ooh. Wow.
And the second is total 11.
All right. So the nat 20 hits, of course. The 11 misses.
Okie doke. Let me just make sure I have this right. And we do max, if I'm remembering correctly, because it's been forever
Max
since I crit.
damage. Yep.
So max damage there is going to be, once I include my bonus, is going to be a total of 20.
Ooh. Damn.
And has that 10-foot knockback.
And has 10-foot knockback. That's correct.
All right. So it has that forward momentum going, and it's flying in the air. So I'm going to say it drops about 10 feet and gets slowed. So it has to get its wings like back on track kind of deal. And he's still coming for you. And what's your movement speed? Because you're still moving this whole time, right?
Right. My movement speed is 40.
Okay. He seems to be keeping up with you. He's just 10 foot behind where he was before.
So, like, keeping up with me as in he's not gaining?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and keep running just full bore.
Okay. And he's using, actually, yeah, that's right, because he can't attack. He is starting to catch up with you now. He kind of he lost that 10 feet, but he's probably within. Yeah, he's gaining it back a little, and he's probably about 30 feet away from you now.
All right. Guess there's no way that I'm going to get out of this then. Unless, do I see any kind of like narrow opening, like in the, like coming up?
It's far enough away you feel like you can't make it before he catches up with you at the speed he's going.
Okay. In that case, I am going to suddenly stop and turn around. And
Okay.
I'm going to try and fire another Eldritch Blast at him.
Okay.
The first is 21,
That hits.
and the second is 25.
That also hits.
Yay.
The first is going to be for 12 damage, and the second for 9.
So yeah, both of the blasts hit him, and it was enough to drop him all the way down to the ground, and he's like 20 feet from you.
Like
On
on
the
the
ground?
25, 20 feet from me.
Yeah. And yeah, so he's going to charge at you, and he's taking one of his huge clawed hands. It doesn't even look like there's claws, like fingernail kind of deal. Like the fingers come to a complete point, and they're really long and gangly. And he's attacking you with a claw.
Okay.
It's a 12.
A 12? Well, assuming that we're going off of the, like, I have mage armor thing.
Did you put on mage armor?
Well, I guess that's the real question, is because if I can just have it on, and I go in with the assumption that I can just have it on whenever, like, do we need to just, like, actually state that I'm putting it on?
Oh, that's your intentions with mage armor, is
that's
just
my
always
intention,
have it
is
on.
to just always have it on.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you have that.
Okay. Then in that case, it does not hit.
Okay. But that totally fits Aleister's character, and then nobody else is around you too, so yeah. So he misses. Like you just little nimble cat, like dodge those little claws, big claws. Yeah. So it's your turn again. You got little claws.
Yay. All right. Well, it seems to be working so far, so I'm going to try and just keep slugging away at it. Not really use my resources if I can help it.
Okay.
So, another Eldritch Blast.
All right. Yeah. Roll for attack.
The first is 14,
That hits.
and the second is 19.
That also hits.
Damage from the first is 14, and damage from the second is 9.
All right. So he is definitely you knock him back 20 feet away from you. He's back where he started when he was on the ground, and he's definitely looking pretty bad. Like his wings are kind of like you nailed his wings a couple times, and they look like they're kind of broken, and he's trying to take off, and he's able to lift up a little bit, and as he's starting to lift up, you notice that something jumps off of the building next to you and lands on top of it, and it just starts stabbing the shit out of it. and it falls to both of them together fall to the ground, but the cloaked figure that was attacking it kind of jumps off and rolls off, and the creature's dead, and you have this hooded figure standing in front of you now.
Seems humanoid.
Yeah, humanoid.
Like roughly human-sized.
Yeah, maybe a little bit on the shorter end, like low 5 foot.
Like short
5.
human, really tall gnome.
Yeah, like 5'5".
I have my fingers and my toes crossed right now.
Okay. I'll actually kind of call out to the cloaked figure then, if they can even understand me.
Yeah.
Well, I think I had that under control, but thank you all the same.
The figure reaches up and grabs the hood and pulls it back and pulls down a face mask and looks at you, very puzzled, and says, "Aleister, is that you?" And
Is this someone
you see
that I
Evangeline.
reckon?
You see Evangeline. Let's go back to Victor.
I thought Gerbo became Batman for a second.
Headcanon.
I was like, come on, Gerbo.
Okay.
Yeah, back to Victor.
All right. So I've got a question. I'm not 100% up on my species physiology. Gnomes, are they very thin, like wayfish, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, gnomes aren't like short and fat.
Okay.
They are thin. Yeah, they
Okay.
can be.
How big is this? Because Victor's been cooking and thinking. How big is this manacle, like on Victor's leg? Like how big around compared to his leg? Is it real tight on there? Is it?
It's kind of tight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's kind of tight.
All right.
For your leg size. Yeah.
Okay. So without many other options, Victor is going to try to use the his alter self and transform into a gnome. You know, he's got an insight from a gnome.
Yeah.
Gnomes would be approximately he'd look like a huge gnome because it would have to be medium size instead of small.
This feels a
But
bit
yeah,
like serendipity.
But he's going to try to turn into a gnome to see if his leg and foot will be small enough to get the anklet off.
All right, give me that shapeshift roll.
All right, let's.
Are you gonna
roll
be
big,
successful?
guys. Now remember, he's concentrating exclusively on his leg.
I don't like the
So
way you
that's
phrase
what
that.
would change if only a little bit changes.
All right, yeah,
I rolled
sure.
a 4.
Oh God, no.
No. Dang it.
The leg gets
Yeah,
really
so-
skinny, but
so-
your feet are the same size.
So
Yeah,
you're looking at your hoof.
Uh-huh.
You're looking at your hoof, and your leg stays the same, like the rest of your foot stays the same, but your claws turn into 2 big toes.
Okay. Well, since I can turn that off whenever I want, and I'm obviously distraught or something and can't do it right, I'm just gonna let it go back to my regular leg if it's not gonna help me get this manacle off.
Okay, yeah, it's not gonna help.
And I'm assuming I can't just try to alter self over and over and over.
And you can wiggle those 2 toes. You just 2 huge.
I don't feel like that would be very effective.
Wiggle
Wiggling
your
is not
big
the way
toe.
to get out of this situation. Okay, so now that has failed tremendously, the next thing Victor was going to try to do, because now he's upset. Now he was already kind of confused and upset. Now he's just upset because he's supposed to be able to transform and he's not being able to do it. And he's going to think about the wraps that are on him.
Okay.
Now, I don't remember, do the wraps go down to the legs as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
They go down to your legs.
So are the wraps underneath the manacles? Or manacle?
No. Like they kind of stay under your trench coat. They don't really go down all the way to your feet.
Okay. I'm going to try to will the wraps under there. Down my leg to see if I can do it. And what I would want to happen if I can pull that off is for them to expand and maybe snap it off or something.
Okay. Roll an attack for your wrappings.
Okay, I will roll an attack. So that would be a 20.
Okay.
And
That hits.
it would hit.
You don't have to roll damage.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Well, just for the record, I rolled max damage.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So the
And then
wraps
flurry of blows.
the wraps you feel them crawl down your leg and as they come out, and then they slide in down around your ankle and I guess what would be called your ankle.
Yep.
And it like kind of like builds up and like wraps around it, and it just like busted open, and you broke it so bad that like it just broke it in half, and the pieces went flying, and the chain just falls.
Excellent. Now I'm not chained up.
Now, you did prepare that food. Were you gonna eat it now?
I might. I'm going to check the door first. Is the door locked? I'm assuming that they had the chain not quite long enough to get to the door.
Yeah, it wasn't long enough to get to the door, and the door is not locked.
Okay. Let me. I'm going to try to roll for stealth real quick before I try to open it. Like I just sort of turn the knob to see if it would and pull barely. But I'm going to roll stealth, and that would be a 22. So
okay, yeah, all right.
I'm hopefully stealthy. So I'm gonna sort of open the door real quietly, and just sort of stick my head out and see what's around here.
All right, so you stick your head out and you see a hallway. You see a wall to your left, and then you down to the right you see a hallway. There's no doors along the way, but you do see that it turns right.
Okay. About how far down is that?
20 feet.
Okay. So I'm
30
just
feet.
We'll
say 30 feet.
Okay. I'm going to make my way real quietly down the hallway and then try to peek around the right corner. Be very careful.
Okay. You see a set of stairs that kind of circular stairs.
Mm-hmm. Spiral staircase.
Yeah, spiral staircase, yeah.
Going up or down?
Going both ways.
Both
up
ways.
And down.
Oh, good. Well, I'm going to go up. Real careful.
Okay. So as you're starting to go up the stairs, you're hearing somebody coming down the stairs above you.
Okay. And there's nowhere around that I could hide, like a alcove in the stairway or anything like that. Like it's pretty much just a set of stairs, and there's nowhere to go but up or down or back down that hallway, as far as I know.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna make my way back down to where I was real quick, and try to go back to the bend in the hallway and see if they're coming down that hallway or if they're gonna pass and keep going down.
Yeah, you got enough time to quickly and stealthily get back to that corner, that bend, and you hear them talking. It's a woman talking, and yeah, are you trying to listen in on what she's saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be perception.
Okay, I will roll for that. I'm rolling everything today. That would be 15.
Okay, so you hear her saying, I knew this day would come, but I wasn't expecting it to be today. Julian is not himself. I gotta tell Dalton. And then she continues to go down the stairs.
Okay, so she's gone down past where I was.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to go up the stairs, very stealthily, very quietly, super secret.
All right. So you get up and you come to another hallway.
I will go down that hallway.
All right. And you got a turn to the right, and there's another door there, but it looks like it's barred shut.
Okay. All right. Well, she was talking about Julian, and she was coming from that direction. And Julian is what I followed into the portal in the first place. So I am going to go up to the door and knock on it and see if anyone answers.
Do I hear this?
Yeah, Julian, you're hearing that countdown sequence going.
Okay.
Starting from 60 seconds and moving its way down, and it's loud, but you do hear a knocking on the door. I mean, it's like on the opposite side of the room.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. First thing I'm gonna do is pull. Do I have the Vox box on me?
You do.
Okay, I'm gonna pull that out and turn it on and say, Victor or Aleister, is that you at the door?
Okay.
And Aleister and Victor, you both hear it.
Okay. All right. So I'll respond as like, yeah, Julian, are you behind this door?
Knock twice.
I'll knock twice.
All right.
Do I hear 2 knocks?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I don't know where this is. I don't know what's happening. I do know that I touched a mech suit and it sounds like it's going to explode.
Okay. The second he says explode, I unbar the door and I unlock it and I open the door up.
The door is still locked.
Oh, it's locked. So
Yeah.
It doesn't have a. I thought it's like a key lock.
Like you barred it
Yeah.
and then keyed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Aleister, y'all are all caught up same time as you are.
Okay, well, given that, I am definitely not answering.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, I probably
That's
didn't
cool, I
even
guess.
hear it.
Like
Yeah.
you're hearing this as soon as Evangeline said, Aleister, is that
I
you?
probably did not hear it at all.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to cast Disguise Self on me, and I am going to disguise myself as Dalton Renfield. And then I'm
Okay.
going to try to get back into the suit.
Is that your final answer?
Don't do that.
Come on, man. You're answering D on the first question. What are you doing?
I'm gambling. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
suit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing it.
All right. All right. So,
Disguised as
Can
Dalton
I point out
Renfield.
that I'm trying to open the door?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing something.
Yeah.
I'm doing anything to try to open the door.
so you just transformed into Dalton Renfield. It's at like 15 seconds left at this point,
Okay.
and you're at the door right now as Dalton Renfield. And Victor, what are you doing?
I'm trying to get into the suit as Dalton Renfield.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
When you transformed, there's 15 seconds left. You're on the other side of the room of it.
Like, this is before you got to the suit. Like, you just transformed.
Oh, so the suit is not next to the door.
No.
Oh, okay. Crap.
Yeah. The door and suit are opposite sides of the room.
Okay, yeah, that was
I did point that out.
Okay, then that was a key thing that I forgot. So I would not do that because I don't have enough time to do that and get into the suit, and hopefully think that that's going to be the ID for the suit. I don't know how this thing works. Well, okay, looking at the plans and the intelligence that I have, would I figure out how to disable the self-destruct / also using all of the tools that I have, and I've got a few sets.
From your memory of it, you don't recall seeing the plans for the self-destruct mechanism.
Okay.
And Victor, what are you doing about the locked door?
Yeah. So it wasn't like a turn lock or a slide lock on the outside of the door. It was a key lock.
There was like a bar that was put down in front of the door, not allowing it to open, and there's a key. There was a keyhole. There's no key there, but it's the door won't open.
The door won't open.
You took out the bar.
Yep.
Door's still locked.
Okay, is there a keyhole on my side?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go and try to pop it with the thief tools.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
I would have immediately said, Julian, the door's locked.
Yeah, I was hoping I could do some Iron Man shit, but I guess that's not gonna work. Okay, yeah, I'll pop the lock off.
Okay.
What do you want me to roll?
Thieves' tools.
Okay.
And you're proficient in them, so
I am proficient, and I have double proficiency because of tool expert. So that would be, what would I roll? That would be a sleight of hand.
no, it's a thieves' tool check.
Okay, so I just roll it and then add double proficiency. Okay, that is a 23.
Okay. Yeah. Click.
Okay, all right, I'm getting out, and I'm
For the
gonna.
record, he does not look like Dalton Renfield, right?
No,
Because
I
that
don't.
would have really freaked
Yeah, yeah.
I'm retconning that now.
Okay.
He realized he messed up, and yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
didn't. I thought the suit was right next to the door. But
Oh,
yeah.
got it.
Victor goes
Okay,
crazy,
and in the
flings you back in the
process-
room, and shuts the door behind you.
In the process of doing that, I'm going to attempt to grab Victor and then drag him and then run in the other direction.
Okay. Not in front of the door.
No, it's away from the door and away from the
Wait,
suit.
why are you dragging me? I can walk.
He says calmly as he's being dragged.
No.
Self-destruct.
Yeah.
Big boom, big boom.
So you get about halfway down the hallway, and you hear a giant explosion behind you, and like the door just like gets slammed up against the
Was it a wood door
wall.
or was it like a metal door?
metal.
Oh, okay.
It's all like puffed out.
Yeah.
How loud was
Like
that
the explosion was huge. And Aleister, you heard an explosion at the tower off in the distance, and you see a big gaping hole about maybe 15 stories up.
Okay, I can't slow fall my way out of that.
After the ringing in my ears and the shell shock wears off, I'm gonna look at Victor and be like, "You ever get that feeling we shouldn't jump into portals?"
What?
I said, "Do you ever get that feeling we shouldn't jump into portals?"
Hey, this is Richard, the player behind Aleister. I know you don't hear from me much. Aleister is a little predisposed right now, still kind of shell-shocked from the advent of seeing Evangeline after so long. I don't really blame him that much. This is a really rare occasion where I get to actually talk to you for a change, because normally he doesn't let me. So, this is definitely another case of an episode where we end up getting into trouble because we're split up, although this time it is not our fault. We did not choose to be split up here. This was entirely Adam's doing and not something that we decided on our own for a change. But seems like Aleister was able to handle himself pretty well, as per usual. I'll at least give him that. At least he's pretty independent. Victor managed to escape pretty much by himself with no real help. And he was even able to help Julian, who had somehow gotten himself into an even worse predicament than he was in to begin with. Just as a PSA for any of you out there that may be playing in any campaigns, if the DM ever asks you, "Are you sure?" you should probably rethink what you're doing. There are not many cases at all where a DM's going to ask you if you're sure, where what you're going to do is going to have any positive outcome whatsoever. Most DMs aren't cruel enough to try and trick you by using meta commentary like that. It's usually because they have some kind of horrible end in mind for what happens. As per usual, we keep bringing up more questions than we answer. I suppose we sort of answered a question that there is at least an Evangeline here, but it still raises so many more questions about what's going on. Maybe we'll actually get some answers soon. It's never fun being in the dark on all of these kinds of things, but I suppose you don't really want to know everything up front either. I mean, that takes all the fun out of it. And I can guarantee that whatever you're feeling as far as the confusion and questioning that you have now is exactly how we felt when we were playing through this. And maybe still do to an extent. But feel free to reach out to us and let us know how we're doing, if you're liking it, if you don't like it, if you have any questions, or if you just want to comment and tell us anything you want. We'd be happy to hear from you. You can find links to all of our social media on microphonesandmonsters.com. There are also links to all of our podcatchers there. As always, All of our music is written and produced by Marco Mazzei of Fallen Highway Studios. So thank you for listening in, and I hope you'll join us next time on Microphones and Monsters.